Welcome back. Now that you have a script, the next step is figuring out how it will line up with the video.
You wrote it, right? No? All right, write it now. How many times am I gonna have to say this?
Download the split script template from the links below. I'll wait. What you're looking at here is 3 columns. The first column is for words, the narrator will say. The second column is for pictures, which corresponds to one shot, which I'll describe later. And the third column is for additional notes. For now, what we want is to write each new thought of the script on a new picture. Basically, every place you could imagine having another picture, write another line of text. For example, let's say you have a line in your script that says, a time to be born, a time to die, a time to plant, a time to reap. You can break that up a lot of ways. Each box doesn't have to be its own sentence. The emphasis is on where you want a new picture. Right now you're just writing the words, but try to think about how will the text and the image fit together. Will each sentence get its own picture, or will it simply be a sun setting? And can you show that in 1 box or 4? Probably 1, but your call. The more work you put into the split script, the easier animating will be, so don't skimp out on this stage. And remember, if you don't know how to draw something, you probably will have a tough time making it in clay or out of paper. Think about the pictures, but for now, simply put the words down, as the next step we'll be adding in the pictures. It's important to use legible handwriting, as you'll have to confidently read it out loud later on, and then number your pages. Got the words down? Well, hit pause until you do, and then we'll move on to the next step. You better be playing along and not just watching this. Okay, picture time, or as some of you might be saying, oh dear God, he's making me draw. Why God, why did I ever think to start this time? Don't be scared of picture time. I'm gonna assume some pretty bare bones art right here. All you need is enough to get across what you're planning to animate. So stick figures, great. Descriptions combined with stick figures, also great. Now there's a couple of things to keep in mind when making the pictures in the split script. The main thing is you're actually going to have to make this. I'll hold your hand and make it as easy as humanly possible, and the expectation for theater level quality at the end are non-existent, but make your life easy and make the animation as simple as possible. Let me say that again. Make the animation as simple as possible. The first time I approach a script, I want to add in everything. This happens every time. I want an army of people and a volcano erupting and 14 people singing and a giant horse doing backflips. Then I remember, oh, I'm actually going to have to make this thing. So instead, I end up with a single person talking about that giant horse he saw doing backflips. It's not as cool to watch, but I know how to make this. So how to keep things simple? The fewer number of people, the better. If you can get away with no one on screen, that's the best.
And the visuals don't always have to match the narration. If your script says, it's a dark and stormy night, you don't have to draw a cloud and a bolt of lightning. It could be an owl in a tree, or a creepy old house, or something completely different. Be creative.
Every single person you draw, you're going to have to create. Whether it's in clay or with cut paper, that's one more bit of cutting or clay making. The fewer number of actions and the simpler the actions, the better. So for instance, having a person walk across the screen is a lot harder to animate than having someone just sit there. Again, whatever we draw, we're going to have to actually animate. And while I'll show you how to make someone walk, it will be much harder than a person just sitting. Keep in mind the type of camera angles too. Try, especially with your first animation, to make them as simple as possible. Look at a person with a still camera straight on rather than doing some crazy zooms or intense camera work. Let me show you a few more examples of good split scripts versus impossible to make split scripts. This is a great split script. Going through images one by one, it shows a person sitting, then someone standing, then a second person, and then it's over. That means in total you'll have to make 2 people. You can do that. No, seriously, you can. I believe in you. Let's compare that to this next split script. This is a terrible split script. There's 100 people on screen. Then it does a crazy zoom. Now, I know some of you will be thinking, but wait, I want a challenge. Let me try a few things that don't seem immediately obvious how to pull off. I'm great. Sure, go for it. I'm telling you, the simpler the visual idea, the better you can probably pull it off. But if you have something a little bit ambitious that you absolutely want to try out, go for it. Work it in. Before you start to draw, let me give you a few film terms to think about. First is a shot. Every time the camera cuts, it's a new shot. So if the camera is on person A and then switches to person B and then back to A again, that's 3 shots. In a typical 30-second animation, you'll normally have between 4 to 10 shots. Think about how close the person is to camera. This is a medium shot. Here's a close-up. Here's a wide shot. And think about what's in the background. Is it just blue? Is it a mountain? Something more? So with all of that in mind, spend a little time, draw out your split script, and then we're ready to see if it works. Make some props and start animating. Hit pause and I'll see you when you're ready.